Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold tonight. It's a bit cozy. So I've made some tea, and I thought that I share with you an email I received from Shane. And we've already discussed the importance of being with the actuality and not the illusion of the relationship and the memories of it and wishing it back and all that. And that's what it would not let you to move on and so on. We've covered that in detail. However, this is what I can share with you that as we have covered in detail, to move on with your life, we can maybe try to go cover a few points of it or remind you of a few points of how to move on after a breakup. I've seen many videos or many people who try to say these are the things you got to do, kiddo. But points one, two, three, four, five. It's not a formula. You can't move on by just reading a bunch of sentences which describes what you should be doing. It's nice to know what you should be doing, but everybody automatically will know what they should be doing without thinking about it once they know what is happening to their psyche, why they feel that way. And that is why that in my videos I've tried very carefully to explore the inner psyche of yours in relation to the relationship, to the other person, and to the story, and to the whole experience of relationship. So for you to understand what is it that is missing, what is it that you're feeling, why is it that you're feeling, what happened to your psyche, what are the causes for it, and so on and so forth, why you feel the way you feel. Because once you understand why it is that you feel the way you do, then you don't think that this is a feeling that is written in stone and it has to be that way and there's no way out of it. No, you feel that way because this is what's happening in your psyche. This is what your consciousness and what your psyche is doing. We talked about the center and order and disorder and consciousness and so on and so forth, the whole of you. And we've talked about all that in detail in different videos. So once you understand that, then you will know it doesn't have to be that way. Now I know why I feel that way. Then it's not a mystery for me thinking that this is how one would feel and there's no way out of it, because that's what it is when a breakup happens. And that's the effect of it. No. And so that's why we've gone through it in detail. However, there are some things that I can share with you, which I wanted to say, are a few points that I thought maybe I can remind you of some of the things that we covered. First of all, the things you got to remember, among many other things that we've covered here, is that we are kind of brainwashed, conditioned from childhood to kind of think of ourselves as if we are lower than the others. Like, you're not as worthy or as good or as credible as whatever in quality than the others are. Why I say that? Because if you notice, the way we have most of us, or all of us, unless you're, I don't know, living 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago or 100 years ago, you're a prince of some country, and everybody's sucking up to you. But the reality of most of us is that from childhood we're being told through government bodies, systems of education, societies that we are in, from teachers, from parents, from the exams that we have to write. We always had to prove ourselves. Like, I passed the exam. So, I'm always trying to prove that I'm good enough. Or parents say something. Or the teachers, the way they treated us. We're supposed to prove ourselves that we're better than the other one. Competition. So the reverse of this, all things that we had to do, we were put to do, is because we were always unconsciously really not thinking about it, been trying to prove ourselves by passing this grade, passing this exam, going to the higher class that was important for us, to be a good boy, better than this one. And the parents or people say, see, so and so's son is so good, so and so's daughter is so good, you got to be like that, that one has got an A. Constantly it was a automatic pressure without we really noticing it that we had to prove ourselves, which reverse of it would make us feel we were not good enough. If I'm supposed to prove myself by passing the exam or that exam when we're a kid, when we're grown up and we're doing things for our advancements, or that's education, that's how to get a license of some kind, that we pass exams, we study for exams, so on, to be qualified for certain job and profession that we want to offer, like a doctor or a lawyer, or so they gotta know that stuff. So that's why we study and we take exams and so forth, which I personally really don't believe in exams, but that's the world we live in, and we want to make a living, earn our living, so we got to have a certificate of some kind. Somebody else is to approve us. So, and again, we go back to this whole approving thing. So we have to pass all these exams, attend to what the teacher says to do in order to be approved by her or by him. All the time we have to do something and then look forward for some entity outside of us to approve of us. Let me see. I wrote some points here so I will not forget them too. So therefore, in our psyche, we always thought that we are not good enough until somebody else tells us that we are good enough, we're credible, we're qualified. And we carry that into our relationships as well. So when we are in a relationship and then the relationship breaks up, we feel again like as if it's before. We are not qualified anymore. Our qualification has been rejected. We have to now re-qualify. We're not approved of. So because it's broken up. So because we've always been brainwashed to seek approvals. Approval of the teacher, approval of parents, approval of some exam, some test, some competition, some whatever. Kind of we turn into a monkey of different things. Do this, so you qualify for this. Do this, so you deserve for this. Do this, so I will say you're a good boy or a good girl. And that has become a natural thinking of our psyche. And now in a relationship, that's one of the reasons we want relationship, beside all the obvious reasons. The relationship and, getting to know each other. We're a boy and there's a girl and so on. That's a natural attraction. But we also want somebody else's approval and affirmation. That's why relationship to us is so important, to have a girlfriend. So we know somebody else likes us. So that would translate into, I'm good enough. We've always been conditioned to think that somebody should approve of us by having something or being of value, to be with someone. These are all have been translated in some kind of a value for us, some kind of a credit. So when it breaks up, the relationship, we feel, we're now not credited anymore. The affirmation is gone. Approval is gone. Now that's what it hurts. I got to reapprove myself or get approval. What happened? My approval is gone. And we've always been eager to be approved in life, to prove ourselves. And that's how the brainwash had worked. Now, the other point, let's say the second one. So we've got to realize this. So when we realize this, we know that the pain we're going through, part of it is the approval thing. And then we got to notice that we really don't need approval from outside. The approval, we got to bring it from inside. What we want to accomplish in life, how far we are, where we are, what is our plans, what steps we're taking to fulfill that. And all of that should give us the good feeling of we're building ourselves or we're becoming. So remember we had a video talking about it seems like we've been brainwashed to have to become something. And everything for us translate into that I'm becoming something. As long as I'm becoming something, that I feel like, okay, I'm okay. And this having a girlfriend is like I've become somebody. And then when it breaks up, it's like, I'm not that what I had become. And so all these has the effects on the psyche. Now, number two, what I wanted to share with you is that